Good morning and welcome back to my channel. It's Saturday the 20th of September 2025 and it's about 9 a.m. Kicking off this week with what's for the basket, it's miso broth. There are 5 sachets in here and they are 1 sin each. Okay, 2 coffees for the coffee box at group. One is Dubai chocolate, the other is pumpkin spice, and these are Beanie's coffees which are free on plan. Okay, my word of affirmation this week is intentional. Right, so moving on to my first item, I did it again. I got Slimmer of the Week. Now I don't know if this is the 3rd time in 6 weeks or the 3rd time in 7 weeks, but either way it doesn't really matter. I lost a pound and I got Slimmer of the Week. This is beginning to trouble me. I don't want to say too much about my group because that's not fair. What's said in group should stay in group and what happens in group should stay in group. But whether it's the time of year or it's the time of people's lives, I think it's time we did something about growing our groups. Because some are growing, I acknowledge that. I think Shell said this week in her group they had about a dozen new members. I know other groups are getting new members, but how do we do that? What would be your recommendation? I don't want to go to any of my friends and say, you look like you need to lose weight, come Slimming World with me. That's offensive. If somebody asked me, how have you lost your weight? I would say, at Slimming World. If they were a close friend, I wouldn't necessarily say, come to group with me, because I actually like going to group as an independent person. I'm not reliant on anybody for a lift. I'm not reliant on anybody who's going to talk me out of going this week. I've been there, I've done that. I've gone with friends in the past and we've cooked up excuses between us. I don't need that today. So how do you grow your group? Do you have a responsibility to help grow your group? Or do you just leave it all to the consultant and Slimming World? Big question mark there. I am genuinely interested in knowing. So yeah, Slimmer of the Week for the 3rd time in recent history. But does it really mean anything to me with a £1 loss? I said it last time, I said it the time before, I'll say it again. No. It doesn't. And you know, I'm just being honest. It's not a criticism of anybody in my group. I just think we could all do better. Anyway, I've given Joe a little list of things I want to talk about today, stuff that came to me when I was in the shower. So let's kick off with the top one, Joe.
The basket.
Sorry?
The basket.
I've done that.
Oh, affirmation.
Done that.
Slimmer of the Week.
Done that.
Intentional or too busy.
Yeah. Just shows he's behind the camera doing other things, doesn't it? Bless him. Right. Intentional or are we too busy? Over the years I've watched so many videos where we all claim to be so busy we can't do this and so busy we can't do that. We've always, my generation always said, if you want something doing, ask a busy person. Because busy people get things done. Busy people don't just sit on their backsides and procrastinate or make excuses. I've got friends who run their own businesses or have really high-powered jobs who are so busy. But I know if I wanted some help, advice, or needed their help to get something done, they're the people I'd go to. I would never go to a person who sits down, excuse me, watches telly, moans about being busy and does bugger all. Because I've been that person. I used to think I was the busiest woman in the world. But you know what? Didn't get up till lunchtime at weekends. When I was working, yeah, I had to get up, I had to go to work. And I started work at 8 o'clock and I had to travel into the city to do it. But oh my God, I was so miserable at the prospect of dragging myself out of bed Monday to Friday that by the time I got to work at 8 o'clock, I was well and truly pissed off. My life is different today because I've learned that if I want to make the most of a day, if I want to be intentional, the best thing I can do is get up and get going. Now during the summer, that's easy. 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, I'm up, I'm out, I'm showered, I'm ready to do. This is the time of year when that's going to start getting harder, because I guess it's darker in the morning. Even though I can't see it, I can feel it. So if we say, I'm too busy to eat well, or I'm too busy to do this, or I'm too busy to stick to plan, or I'm too busy to go to group, what are you too busy with? Are you too busy to go for a walk, but you can sit and watch an episode of EastEnders? Are you too busy to go to group when that is for your benefit? Yeah, you've got jobs to do at home. We all have. But just get on and do them. I always think if a job takes 5 or 10 minutes, why spend half an hour procrastinating about it? Just do it. Because you feel a damn sight better when it's done. Even if that's sitting down and making your shopping list for an online delivery. If you're doing it willingly and gladly, you're more likely to make a healthy shopping list than if you're procrastinating, looking for excuses why you can't eat on plan. And then you go down the list and then all those things start to pop up at the till. You know, this is on offer, that's on offer, this chocolate, these Halloween biscuits, this. That's when you're going to click on them. Be intentional about everything you do. Even if it's just like this morning, I got up at 6:30 and I went in the shower. I'm intentional about having a shower. I make it a part of an enjoyable day. And I love having a wash and thinking, I can feel the muscles in my arms now. Whereas before they were just bingo wings. And it feels good. I actually enjoy washing my hair every morning. I enjoy even something as sad as dropping to my knees after I've had a shower and cleaning my shower. I'm intentional. I don't think, oh, I'll bother cleaning it today. I'll leave it till tomorrow or the end of the week or whatever. I'm intentional, and jobs like that take 2 minutes when you're intentional, but I could procrastinate for hours about how to avoid doing them. So when I talk about being intentional, it's not just about weighing and measuring my healthy extras. It's not just about scanning the sins on things before I eat them and not afterwards. It's about every aspect of my life, which is becoming a much more positive life. I used to be a very negative person. I don't think I am nearly as negative today. I'm intentional about going to the gym. I'm intentional about getting a walk in. I was thinking about, just yesterday for example, we needed some fruit and stuff from Marks and Spencer's. Now I can catch the bus at the end of my street and it would cost £3 each way to go to town or to come back from town. So for 2 of us, that's 12 quid to go to town. We can walk it in 45 to 50 minutes. That's one way. We can walk it back in 45 to 50 minutes. And I've saved 12 quid. That 12 quid buys quite a lot of fruit in Marks and Spencer's. But if I'm not intentional about getting off my arse and walking there and actually really enjoying the walk, irrespective of the weather in some cases, then I'm going to catch the bus every time. And as we probably walk into town most days, just imagine that, 12 quid a day. £84 just to get to town and back. That's crazy. Or you could say, oh, take the car. Yeah, car's sitting out on the drive, take the car. But car parking isn't cheap, is it? I think in Nottingham you could probably pay 8 quid to park while you go shopping. And then we're at the wrong end of town. Be intentional about what you're doing today. Just try it for one day. Next one, Joe.
Exercise, weight loss or well-being?
Yeah, I just talked about going to the gym. I just talked about walking. T-shirt I'm wearing today is a gym t-shirt and it says LHBK. It stands for lift heavy and be kind. I like that. Not just being kind to other people or trying to be kind to other people in my life. I have to be kind to myself. Being kind to myself means not procrastinating about doing exercise. Sitting in my chair thinking about it doesn't help me get stronger, doesn't help me get any fitter, and doesn't improve my well-being. And for me, a woman of 69 years old, you know, if I don't do something about it at this time in my life, when will I? And it's quite funny because going to the gym, going walking and stuff like that, there is no thought in my head that any of that is about weight loss. I don't do it for weight loss. I do it because I want to be able to get up and down off the floor when I need to. I want to be able to run for the bus if I need to catch a bus. I want to be able to walk 14, 15, 16,000 steps without whinging to Joe. Oh, I can't do this, it's too much. I want to be able to shift weights at the gym and improve every week. I'm now shifting bigger weights, not massive, because come on, I'm a little old lady. I'm now shifting bigger weights and I'm now increasing my reps every time I go. Joe was pointing out the other day in the gym, I was doing, I call them goblets. What do you call them, Joe?
The hammer curls.
Hammer curls. So when I first made a video about exercise way back a few months ago, I was doing hammer curls, or goblets as I call them, and I was doing them with 1 kilogram weights. And I think I was doing 8. This week, I did them with 4 kilogram weights at the gym, and I did 23, was it?
23 or 24, yeah.
Yeah. Side raises, this, with weights in your hands, I used to do with 1 kilogram, and I could just about kill myself to do 8. Now I'll do 2 full sets with 2 kilograms, and again I'm in the 20 odds, aren't I?
Yeah, over 20.
And you know, I never thought I'd be able to do that. I thought that going past 8 would kill me. When I'm doing pull downs, there's a pull down machine where your arms go up here and you pull it down with your elbows and it goes up and it stretches you. And you know, when it stretches you, you can feel your middle part starting to get some shape. And I love it. But when I first started, I could barely do those things. Now, I'm intentional about doing them. Before I start an exercise, I get my head into the zone. I believe in the power of my muscles, and I can do it. I don't waste time on the treadmill. I think I've done the treadmill twice in the months I've been there. I'd rather walk outside and feel the wind and the rain or the sunshine. On the treadmill, for me, as a blind person who's got everybody else is watching the telly, you know, around the edge of the rooms, Joe tells me that on the telly they have cooking channels. I don't want to be watching that, thanks. I don't have a telly at home. I don't want to watch theirs. But on the treadmill, for me, as a blind person, it's just like walking in the pitch black. There's no entertainment, there's no horizon to keep your eyes on. I am intentional about enjoying what I'm doing. And I always walk out the gym with Joe and I always say, I really enjoyed that. Because I come out fired up, I come out feeling energised, and I come out feeling intentional about the rest of my day. I don't come out of the gym, come home and sit on my bum for the rest of the day, because it builds energy in me to do other things. And for that I am truly grateful. Next heading.
GLP-1.
I've been watching a lot of stuff this week about Manjaro and GLP-1s, Ozempics, whatever. You don't hear as much about Ozempic, and I only have one lovely, lovely friend who's on Ozempic because she's a diabetic. I don't count that as the same thing. I don't count being on Manjaro as a diabetic the same as buying Manjaro for weight loss. I know in Slimming World at the moment there's a massive push to get people who are buying Manjaro on to Slimming World. And do you know what? I think they're flogging a dead horse. Now, if you're on Manjaro in Nottinghamshire under our health authority, you have to go to a weight loss clinic. you have to exercise, you have to be answerable to them. They're the people with extreme health problems who are entitled to Manjaro on prescription. And I think our health authority is actually quite strict. But anybody can buy it, which I'm not saying shouldn't be allowed, but what I'm saying is, realistically, do we know the ramifications of being on it for a long while? I don't think we do. And I've seen more and more videos about people panicking and people who appear full of fear about the day they have to come off it because they can't afford the 200-300 quid, whatever it costs. Then I am seeing videos about people who are changing their eating habits. Now, I think changing your eating habits on the period of time that you're on Manjaro, where you've got the crutch, where you've got the thing that diminishes your appetite, where you've got the thing that takes away your food noise, is the massive opportunity to change your eating habits. I don't see a lot of that. I really don't. And I was talking in my group this week to my consultant about this push that Slimming World have got to catch the Manjaro people. Would I go to Slimming World if I was on Manjaro? No, I wouldn't. I'm already paying out enough. I think I've got the answer. I've got the silver bullet. I've got the magic. Why would I pay for Slimming World? But as I said to my consultant this week, I think the place for Slimming World is when people have to come off the jab for whatever reason, they can't afford it anymore, or they've hit their target weight. That's when Slimming World comes into its own. Or any decent weight loss plan. It doesn't have to be Slimming World, it's not for everybody. But I think if we say to people, you are on Manjaro, you need Slimming World, we can re-educate you, we're wasting our time and theirs if they don't want to be re-educated. And they don't have to be, it's their choice. But I'm seeing so many videos where people are coming off Manjaro and the weight immediately comes back. Now, I watched somebody called Dr. G this morning, never watched him before, but have heard him recommended by, I think it's Joe, who lives quite locally to me. Now, this guy's talking about what happens when you come off Manjaro and why you regain weight. And apparently, we have to get back to the level of lean body mass that we had before our ghrelin kicks in. Ghrelin is the hormone that stops you eating, says you're full.
No.
Now have I got it wrong way around?
Yeah, that's leptin.
Leptin. What does ghrelin do?
Like increases hunger.
Right, okay. So we have to get back to the lean body mass that we had before ghrelin stops increasing our hunger. And that's why when we lose a lot of weight, as I have done several times in the past, lose 6 stone, gain 8, lose 7 stone, gain 9, etc., 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 right up to the dizzy heights of 22 stone. If we stop doing any kind of weight loss plan, whether it's Weight Watchers, calorie counting, mindful eating, Slimming World, they're all the same. If you stop doing anything that's working, you will revert to the opposite, because the likely chances are we will go back to what we used to do. And if you've done these things, like I'm doing Slimming World, I know what I can eat on my plan. I eat the food I love the food I eat, all that sort of thing, but I know my limits. I could gain weight on Slimming World if I push my limits outwards. And this is the problem with GLP-1s. Well, you've got no appetite, well, it's suppressed, well, you've got no food noise. It makes your life so much easier that you forget what it was like before. And they're now saying that when the appetite comes back, it comes back extremely quickly and it comes back extremely high. And the food noise comes back. How are you going to combat all of that if you haven't changed the way you eat? I don't have food noise. I don't have a huge appetite. But that's because I eat to satiation and I eat the foods that don't give me food noise. So I think for Slimming World, if you want to offer a helping hand Don't ram it down their throats to people on Manjaro, but do say to them, once you hit your target weight, if the weight starts coming on, you only have to have £7 to lose and you can join Slimming World and you'll be welcome. I know there's a lot of feeling at the moment. I've spoken to somebody at head office about this, that groups actually think in this country there could become a division. If a lot of people on Manjaro came to Slimming World, it could split a group. It's those on the jabs, those not on the jabs. And I can understand that, because I don't honestly know how I would feel if there were 6 people over that side of the room taking Manjaro and being very open and honest about it, which is how it should be, and 6 of us on this side of the room who weren't taking it. Would we really feel like we were on the same plan? Maybe not. But yeah, Slimming World, make it really obvious to people that once they get to where they want to be, if they want to maintain that weight loss, that's when Slimming World can help them. Next one.
Autumn.
Autumn's coming. You can feel it when you get up in the morning. You know, a couple of times this week I've actually put the heating on before I've gone in the shower. And my thing about autumn is the days get shorter, the time seems to get shorter, because let's face it, if you're going to go out for a walk, most of us would prefer to go out for a walk or a run or take the dogs out, whatever, in daylight. Once we get to the stage where the nights are creeping in, which I think they are currently, aren't they, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say it gets dark about 7 at the moment?
Right, more about 8.
Okay, so the nights are creeping in a bit, whereas at one time it was light until 9:45. Are we going to feel less inclined to do our body magic, as Slimming will call it, or exercise, as I call it, or enjoyment? Are we going to feel less inclined as the days get shorter? Are we going to start saying things like, oh, it's going to be Halloween in a month. What about all those sweets you've got to buy? Are we going to feel less inclined to be active? Are we going to feel less inclined to eat healthily? Because although we can eat comfort food on Slimming World, it's harder to think about than a bag of chips or a pizza. I just think that over the year, for me, I have to watch myself. In the autumn, I'm much more aware of how easy it would be to chuck the plan into a cupboard. In the winter, it's not so bad because I like that kind of hot, stewy, whatever food. In the spring, I start to get interested again. In the summer, I love the plan. But I think I've heard 1 or 2 people say already, well, Halloween's coming in a month. Well, Christmas is here in, what is it, I don't know, 13 weeks or something. And there's that thought in people to just put it on hold until the new year. If I put it on hold today until the new year or until after Halloween, a stone could come on like that. Christmas, 2 stone could come on like that. Just take it one day at a time, or even one meal at a time, and be intentional. Life does get in the way. Things happen. Illness, you know, you're more likely to catch a cold or something at this time of year. But it doesn't have to affect how you eat. I mean, I'd applaud Byron this week because he's really been through the mill. But he's not a quitter. There's always a way, there's always food on plan that we can enjoy. Sometimes it's just about being intentional and putting the effort in.
It's only at 24 minutes.
Next one.
Weigh-in.
Weigh-in result this week, as I've said earlier in the video, £1 off. That has me at £149, which is 10 stone 9. With a total loss at Slimming World of £67 and a total loss overall of 11 stone 5. I'm really happy with that. I'm happy to keep chipping away. Like Michelle said, slow and steady wins the race. Okay, we'll see you next weekend. Cheers.